Hello, everyone, and welcome to Survivor with Jamie, Jack, and Colleen. My name is Colleen.
I am Jamie.
And I'm getting rid of that third person already. Again.
When are we going to eliminate fire and just go to the final two? Or if you're going to do fire, let's do fire to determine the second person in the final two.
Yeah, just having the third person, again, three's a crowd. It just, what was the point of Sue being there?
There was one point in which you could tell that she realized, like, oh, I am the no vote finalist. Yes. And he felt kind of bad, but like you could tell there was a point where she realized, like, oh, here I am.
I mean, one person got all but one vote. There is no reason to have that third person there, and especially when that third person couldn't even make a case for why she should be there.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is all true, but how great is it that the one vote Sam got was Kyle, and he didn't even give it to Sue?
That was pretty epic.
I'm taking $30,000 away from you.
That was a joyful moment for
Sue,
me.
And can we just say Sue looks a lot better without mud on her face?
She does. She actually is a very attractive woman. Happy birthday, Sue.
Yeah. Happy 46th birthday.
No, I can't believe that she was like, and today is actually my 59th birthday, and everybody acts shocked. And I was texting with Amanda, and she was like, oh my God, everybody's reaction at Sue's real age. And I was like, I know, I can't.
Well, you got Sam.
Sam, have you ever met an actual 40-something-year-old?
No, because he's young enough that 46 in his mind is as ancient as 70. So
to be fair, I get it. I can kind of remember those days.
Yeah, 45 might as well be 100.
I mean, I can remember thinking people in their 60s, why do they even bother?
And you're like 62 now, right?
Yes, I'm thinking, why do I even bother? What's the point anymore?
What is the point?
That was a really fun like throwback in general, just because everybody watching from home was like, but she looks great for her age, just not 49,
yeah,
or whatever. Anyway, yeah, I think that the best part of this episode was the fire making challenge, in which that was insane. Like Teeny should have won, and somehow
because
we went back and we rewatched it, and there's a point where the wind takes Teeny's thing like vertical, but it takes Sam things like the opposite way, like diagonal, and like it was nuts.
Guys, I'm telling you, it's the cursed seat. If you're ever on Survivor, sit there before you go to do fire. Feel from which direction the wind is blowing.
I thought the cursed seat was a seat that Sam was sitting in.
No, the wind
Teeny knows better.
Well, all I know is or something on Twitter I thought was funny. They said producers, when they see Teeny winning at fire, and there's a guy with a giant leaf blower behind.
It kind of felt like that because it was cool.
To me, I go stand up and block the wind. Yeah, her fire was big enough to burn it.
I'm a firm believer that her rope was made out of asbestos. Like
it was fire retardant. I mean, it was Sam's. I think was gasoline.
Yep.
He had Ben's fire thing, but I just go, oh, Teeny's got this. He's not even starting the fire, and it was hitting her the rope the whole time.
And like I said, we rewatched it. And, because I was watching it alone, and I was like yelling at some point. I was like, I cannot believe this. So, the boys and Jay came upstairs because they were doing like a Pokemon thing. And like Zach's exact words were, Rachel's going to win. Just tell me how. And I was like, ooh, this is new. Okay. But then like, I'm yelling about fire. I'm like, I cannot believe this happened. So we replay it, and again, even Jay is sitting there like, oh my God, how is this going like completely vertical? And like this like it felt like a leaf blower was on it. But like I'm not gonna obviously
get up and block the wind. That was their only hope at that point, because the wind.
Yeah, but also like the other flaw in that was she was relying on the rest of them to tell her how to do the fire. Like, what do I do now? And I'm like, ooh, that's the Rachel, 7-1 versus 8-0.
Yep. Totally. Yeah, and the whole time I'm like laughing. I did tweet this or skeet this as it were. But Rachel gave so much time and consideration in helping Teeny with that fire. And I'm just thinking, like, Andy's got to be so jealous because he went through a full blown panic attack and Rachel could not be bothered.
I got to get some sleep. I don't want to be seen together.
Ew.
I get her point, though. I mean,
How far we've grown.
yeah.
Yeah,
At
no,
least,
agree.
at least we can all. I think we all agree because I think we talked about last week. The jury got it right.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, that
I
definitely.
agree too.
And
I think that if Sam had made a proper case, I could be sitting here being like, all right, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I thought Sam was doing it. I'll be honest with you. I thought Sam was doing a pretty good job. I'm like,
I did too.
Yeah.
But I believe once they get there, unless it's 3 dogs, 3 goats or whatever you want to call them, I think they have their minds made up. Who they're
Yes.
gonna
I
win.
agree. And that's what I was, I was trying to tell Amanda while like we were live texting. I was like, because I predicted a 6-2 Sam, because I thought that for sure one other person, maybe Andy, maybe Teeny, and it would be a respect vote because they understood the assignment that most Survivor fans hate the unanimous winning at the end.
Yeah.
That they just want, something to like make it a little bit exciting at the end. So I thought that perhaps maybe either a Teeny or Andy would throw a vote, like a respect vote Sam's way.
Well, Teeny hates Sam, so there's no way that's going to happen.
That's very true. But I thought that maybe there could be like, all right, you beat me. I'll give you a respect vote here or whatever. Anyway, I did not see the Kyle vote coming, but that's cool. Because again, I appreciate when it's not unanimous, like, because everybody's out there playing. And I appreciate when at least one other person gets recognized.
I wouldn't have been upset with unanimous because of the final 4, it was her. I mean, who else are you going to vote? Who else were you going to vote for? I mean,
she
once
had
you
it
got-
in the bag. The
Yeah.
second she won that immunity, like that was it. That's all she needed to do.
Do
And
you think
she
that if
totally called it out too, like I don't need to do fire because I won the final immunity. Like,
and I
amen,
wonder if
thank you.
that Cassidy loss was at the forefront of her mind, because I always think about that too, where they were like, "Oh, I'm gonna get to Gabler because you didn't put yourself in fire," and it's like, no, I won like this incredibly hard last challenge to get here. Like
Yeah.
it's somebody else's turn to win to get into the final 3. Like it's
Yep.
not my, I'm here. It's
it's
on
not
someone else.
I'm not risking my chance because what if the wind blows? Again, you saw
Right.
Teeny had a huge lead. There's no anybody that votes for someone because they won fire challenge and that's your sole reason for voting for them, you shouldn't be allowed to play the game. There, I
Yeah.
said it.
It's I don't remember what season it is.
Chris
Maybe
Underwood would like a word.
Colleen, maybe you know what season it was, like the first time that ever became the
That-
thing where it was like, oh, you won the final immunity, but you didn't have enough of a resume in the game that you thought you could win against.
Well, that
somebody
was
else.
when it was Exile Island when Chris Underwood put himself
Right.
in after coming back.
And he was out of the game the whole time.
And he was out of the game like the whole time, where they were
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you put yourself in," and like that really wasn't fair because, at the same time, sure, you survived while not playing the game,
Right.
Yeah.
but yeah,
You couldn't be voted out again.
So that
right. So
one
I understood
time-
Exile Island for Winners at War because everybody wanted to see a winner come back in, and that's good TV. But like,
But they need. Well, I remember saying at the time they needed to come back in sooner,
yes,
not at the end of the game.
like Redemption Island, where they got it right eventually, where like they came in sooner and not like at the
Right.
final
Yeah.
5 or whatever, which is when Rick Devens came back in too. The whatever island, whatever it was. What was it? I don't even remember.
I don't know. I just hope they don't do. I hope they don't ever go back to those things again.
They
I
because-
don't
have
think they're gonna
time
go
to do
back.
it.
I
The game's
don't
too
think
short for
yeah.
it now.
That's
like,
true. That's true.
Again, I do miss the longer game,
Everybody does, but I will say this:
except for people playing.
Rachel tied. Like she didn't break a record, but she tied. But she tied on a much shorter
On 10 less
season.
days.
Yeah, so props to her. That's almost as good as breaking the record.
And they had the one.
Almost.
I didn't realize the one person that was part of the one of the females was the one that got screwed over by Ben.
Mm-hmm.
Chrissy.
Chrissy, that's it. I can never remember her name.
Yes, it was Chrissy, Ryan, and Ben in the end.
Because that's where they came, because they came up with that fire challenge because Ben didn't win final immunity.
Absolutely. Absolutely they did. And I feel bad for Chrissy because
and Ben had he had those logs that you just put like the paper and they
But his whole thing was she won fair and square. There's no reason why she shouldn't have won the whole game, but they put him back in because I don't want to cause controversy, but I think it's because he was a veteran and
it was his story.
Yes, but she was a housewife.
That's it.
And when's the last time a housewife has won?
We don't care about
not even a housewife, but just
and is there any
over a certain age, as we talked about tonight with Sue? It's very rare to even.
They should. I don't know if she wanted to come back, but they should have brought her back.
Chrissy,
she got screwed, and I know she wasn't the most likable contestant that year, right? Because
it was Karen Light.
Yeah, but she played like you said. She got. I would be pissed if that's how.
I would have been pissed too if it was her, and even that Ryan dude. Actually, you know what? I don't really remember that much about him, but we haven't really heard him. Oftentimes we hear about those other players that pop up in the community or whatever. They go on RHAP and they do the whatever, and I don't think we've heard much from either of them since. So
yeah.
Well, outside of Andy, because you'll hear from Andy in the RHAP world, but who do you think this season is going to be is there going to be another player that's kind of stays in the Survivor social world?
I don't know because I want to say Genevieve, but I think Genevieve literally is too cool for school, but I don't think she's too
I didn't
cool
even recognize her tonight.
She was beautiful without anything. I was like, oh my God, she washed her hair and she's got no makeup and she looks like who I aspire to look like when I just wake up in the morning.
Yeah, that's a tough, because I don't think Genevieve would do it. I don't see her being that.
I mean, they literally, she went out and they started the whole episode tonight with being Genevieve's a legend. And I do think because she's very Parvati-esque in the way
I think they are trying to make her a legend so much,
but she has that very the way that she speaks to people is very Parvati-esque. And she's tall and she's skinny and she's brunette. So I can see that they want to make her into a more corporate lawyer version of Parvati. But I don't think that they're discounting her out in the future because they went out of their way to feature Teeny saying that she's a legend tonight. I believe that, I think we talked about this last week, but the rumor is, or maybe we talked about this on the bonus show that we recorded for the patrons, that all signs point to Andy being the returning player invited back for 50.
He's definitely the standout player of the season as far as the culture of the game goes. And I think he'll be back. And I think Jeff said only one of them from this season is going to be.
Yes, he did.
The only problem with Andy is you can't trust him. He's a flip-flopper.
Yeah, but you couldn't trust Cochran either. And then Cochran turned around and won. I think they're hoping that he's their next Cochran.
I get it, but I think Andy, if I'm on there with Andy, I vote him off right away.
I could see him being an early vote. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't trust him. I mean, it's just he kept flip-flopping. He was all over the place.
Because he's smart. But again, Cochran was smart.
Yeah.
He flip-flopped. And he went on to win. So I don't know.
I'm just saying, if it were me,
I think it's going to depend on whether or not it's a 2 tribes instead of 3 tribes. When his tribe goes to
and who he's playing with. I mean,
who he's playing with. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Jack. If he's on a team of Parvati, Sandra, and Boston Rob, he's not going first. That's it.
No, you could actually chop him up and then make a sandwich of him. He would never get voted out. They would just literally eat his corpse.
Yeah, it's just Sandra, I would vote her out. Boston Rob, the time he won, I go, why is he still here? Because they were like, oh my God, I'm with Boston Rob. He's my friend, and
the
he wasn't.
celebrity thing, you know.
They were so. It's like Boston Rob.
Well, I think that's generally considered like the pinnacle of the lowest points of Survivor, right? Where they were like, let's find a whole bunch of people from a bar that don't know how to play and Philip Shepard, and let's put them on a season.
But let's let him know who Boston Rob is. How he's
Yeah.
a star. And he is. He's a big. I mean, if you're a Survivor fan, you know who Boston Rob is. But
Yeah.
again, yeah, I know he's in. He's going to turn on you like that. He won't care. Got to vote him out.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah. And
Anyway,
Andy won't last long on there, but I can't imagine that anybody else this season would necessarily. I can't pick the person out because
I'm
usually
going to go against all of you and say that Andy will make it deep into 50 if he comes
Hey.
back.
that'd be great. That'd be fun.
I like Andy, but I
He has this quality, and I think that everyone's going to be like, "Oh, okay, we can always cut Andy because we've seen Andy at his weakest."
We
that
know Andy know how to work.
Yes. So I think
you know you
that
can't
will
work
follow
with
him.
him.
Unless you think you can tame him because you think you're a better player.
Oh,
Do not underestimate ego.
So, okay, what you're saying is,
And do not underestimate
fixer.
coming in as a fan favorite and then thinking somebody who is literally in that world will work with you.
Yes.
I
Yep.
don't know.
I can see it. I can see
I
it.
can say
He worked with you this week.
Next week, not so much.
Win immunity next week.
Well, normally throughout the year, because this is my first season since I joined Twitter like 15 years ago. This is the first season that I have not been on Twitter at all for the entire season. So I've just been over at Blue Sky, and there is a handful of Survivor players that are really active on there, but not the crowd from Twitter yet.
Yeah.
Usually by now you can tell like who's really active in the new Survivor season and going to be a part of that world for the next couple of years just by who's interacting the most. And there was none. There's no like season player this year that I have seen on Blue Sky yet. So
yeah,
I have no.
Let's talk about
Saul would be a good player to come back.
I would love it.
Okay, so
especially if he was wearing all the rings and the scarf and the vest, looking fly.
Okay, let's talk about Saul for a second because Saul was actually there was a Saul lookalike contest in Brooklyn last week where they just had to show up and wear vests and be buff and Asian, and there were pictures on Twitter and it looked amazing.
Yeah, I saw that.
It looks pretty fun.
It was awesome. Yeah. And then I think there was a tweet tonight. What was it? It was something. Oh gosh, I don't have that up anymore. But it was something like, hold on. Did I text it to you guys? I did text it to you guys. Okay. Where Dalton Ross was like, just give the $1 million to Saul and tell him he can only spend it on vests. Because that man looks good in a vest.
He does. He truly does. He looks that he has a very his fashion is his own. He holds it up well.
How many outfits does Sierra have this season?
I think Saul has 10 vests and Sierra has, I don't know, but she's also beautiful and go off girl, wear the outfits you want to wear. But she had a lot.
I don't remember that in the past. Maybe they have, but them having so many different outfits to wear.
Oh, they have. I've paid attention.
Okay, I don't pay attention.
They usually have
that is your time to shine.
They have 3 of them now, on island in game. I think they have or at least 2, maybe 3, because they'll have hoodies. It's not like it used to be where what you show up in is what you got.
Right.
But it's still pretty limited. But when they go to Ponderosa, they got all their luggage there. So.
Yep.
And they need to bring Ponderosa. They need to bring Ponderosa back.
Oh, I miss Ponderosa so much.
I do too. I feel like it's a really important as if you're a super fan of the game, that is a really important key to understanding somebody's journeys and whoever's left, understanding what they're up against when they go to jury. The formatted, little, let's all have a little discussion about the 3 that are going to be in the final. That's boring and super edited, and you don't get a real truthful telling. So But when we get to see Ponderosa and we get to see them sitting there eating together, and then like suddenly they just argue, you know, like, they start arguing about something. You're going, oh, okay, so that's the story we didn't get. And I don't know. I miss it. It just makes for just a much more well-rounded.
Yeah. Plus, it keeps your
thing.
interest in the show during the week.
Yeah. And it's fun
Yep.
because a lot of times your favorite players do get voted off, and you get to see the behind the scenes. Like, my life was forever changed. My fandom was forever changed by that video of Cass and Andrew Savage just drunkenly doing their interviews. Like, that was really fun. And you know, in the new era, like, you know, Shan, her that thing that she, whatever it was, that parody song that she did like on ukulele or whatever, like where they, you know, sang about each person. That was super fun too. And I miss seeing those moments, like from the where they, you know, they get back, they see themselves, they're like, oh my God, I look like this.
I lost 20 pounds.
Right. Like, I enjoy that. Or like they come back and they get to eat. Like, I liked seeing that. You know, I really enjoyed that. So I do miss Ponderosa.
Australia still has their version of Ponderosa. It still goes, so you get to see them like leave camp, arrive to Ponderosa, do the weigh in, see themselves in the mirror, pick out their first meal, and then it goes into whatever, like the little hotel room that they stay in.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll get to see their first phone call home.
Oh, they get to call home. Interesting.
So that's kind of cool. Like, but after that many days too, people look a lot different.
Yeah.
You know, after 50 some days. So
okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's focus on real quick the rest of this actual episode. I don't think there were many surprises. Honestly,
No.
I still am kind of bitter. Like, we didn't just have a 3-hour episode last week. Instead of like, I'm like, all right, advertising dollars. Yay.
Yeah, that's really it.
Yeah, there's way too many commercials.
The second that Rachel won immunity at Final Four, I was like, I love Survivor and I like Rachel, but like, why am I watching this still? It's the week before Christmas. I have so many things I can be doing right now.
Yeah, I was done. I mean, I was just ready. I mean, I was done as
The
Teeny.
fire at least brought something.
Wait, what were you saying, Jack? You were done as Teeny what?
Teeny's trying to cut a rope. That was when I was like,
oh my God.
I don't get it. And I'm like, what don't you get?
Just chop it.
I said, when did Annie take Teeny's spot?
Yeah, right. But they weren't humping anything, so it couldn't have been Andy.
That's true. And Teeny was cheating. She got the word from Rachel, and then she got
did.
No pride on Survivor.
You know, that was smart enough of Sam to at least cover his up.
Yeah. But, you know, with Sam, once he got to the puzzle, I said, oh, he can't win this. Once Rachel got up there right after him, I said, okay, she's got this because she's better at the puzzles. He's not. He got the word quick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
he did.
And he made it respectably far in the puzzle.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really did. And I thought, oh God, for a second there when Rachel like had the ear, because he was like 3 pieces behind maybe.
And he stopped.
He shouldn't have stopped.
They all stopped.
He just got to keep going. But yeah, I do like that we got that there's no pride in Survivor. I don't know. Do you guys feel like if there's like a puzzle like that, like, is it cheating to just stop and look over, or
no?
It's not cheating. It's part of your strategy.
It's Survivor.
Yeah.
There are no rules. I mean, there's some rules, but there's
okay, Jamie.
Oh, I would be looking. I'd be looking.
If you can look in somebody's bag now and it's okay, which I don't think is okay, but they think it's okay, you can look at somebody's puzzle. That is way less invasive.
I don't think that I don't feel like it's cheating if it's right there for the public. It's just, you know, is that a plus or a minus for your gameplay?
I think that's resourceful.
Yeah, because some people would be like,
not me.
But I mean, how often does someone win when they're cheating?
Not all that often. That's
because usually they
have to be behind in order to be able to see.
Yeah, usually they're so far. And was Sue in the net? Why was she at the end? You got to be in the middle where there's some flexibility in the net. She was up against the. I'm like going, what are you doing, Sue? Get in the middle of the net.
I don't know. There was so much odd Sue stuff this episode. Like, I don't know. It was weird. It was almost like the edit just kind of like laid down and died for her. It was like they were like, "Oh, listen, this she's our 0 vote finalist. I think we
We're
all
just gonna give
recognize
her,
this.
gonna give her a little
We're
little
gonna give her
razzle
happy
dazzle.
birthday, and that's gonna be it."
Hey, but you know what? To her credit, when they got to the point in the race where they have to like throw that ball up into the hook and pull it down, she was the only one smart enough to like lasso that thing, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
she wasn't trying to throw the ball itself. She was
It's
using
too bad she got there like 10 minutes after.
I know. But I mean, like
Well, Sam was last, right?
yeah, he took forever to get that. But it's because he was trying to throw it like a baseball. He
Yeah.
wasn't using the tools they gave him.
Well, the guy didn't even practice fire. I mean,
Okay, let's talk about that. I cannot understand how you would freaking go on Survivor and not practice fire.
Ego?
He had to have, right? Like,
I thought he would. I'll be honest with you. At first, I thought he was acting.
I did too.
Because he is a drama major or whatever he is.
So
right?
He's a theater kid.
Yeah, so did Teeny. I said, I think he's just acting. But then when he started, I can't do the fire. I go, is he still acting for us? What is it? I mean, come on.
Yeah, I know. And then when he didn't start it right away, I was like, ooh, maybe this isn't. Like
then
maybe that whole thing about his dad telling him not to like lose faith was just like one last,
build the fire.
Right. If you build the fire,
you can win.
I like how disgusted Sue was getting by the.
Like I
whole
wanted
thing.
the James Earl Jones voice there.
But yeah, Sue was just. I don't know why Sue was so like irritated by him not being able to do fire. Like,
yeah, you're terrible.
she was so. He can't do it.
Oh, okay, guys. Jack Llewellyn.
Yes.
Do you mean to tell me that if you go on Survivor and somebody goes to the fire challenge and they admit that they cannot make fire, you wouldn't sit there and be just as annoyed as Sue?
Oh, and when she was. I think Jamie's talking about when he was trying to make the fire, and it was just him and Sue.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You would have been annoyed too. You'd have been like, you would have been.
I definitely would have said, "Look,
yeah,
you come on.
Does this guy even play Survivor?
You want to come on Survivor, and it's a stupid fire challenge, and you don't practice how to make fire. You didn't come on here one time during camp and try and make fire."
But I gotta say, it shows it's an insight. It's a psychological insight into where Sue thought she sat in the game. Because if Sue had a real idea of where she sat in the game, that man not being able to make fire just made her more likely to be closer to the win. Because
she wasn't going to fire.
But who's going up against you when you sit at the final three? I think it's an insight that Sue really, really did think she had a chance to maybe win it.
Well, you heard her say, "Oh, Rachel and Sam are off giving high fives to each other, thinking they have it all wrapped up." But yeah. I'm not going in as a goat, and you're not going in as great as.
I'm just saying, if I'm sitting there and I'm going, if I'm sitting in Sue's place and I know that I'm either going to have to compete for the final votes against Sam or against Teeny, I would be thrilled that Sam couldn't do fire.
Yeah. Yes. Would you say that she should have said, "Okay, Teeny, I'm gonna take your spot. Let me take your spot. I want to knock Sam out of the game. You go. You've earned final three. I want to knock you out. I want to knock Sam out."
I think that would have been great, and I think that
might have done her some good.
Yeah, I also think that it might have done her some good too, because we know and we have seen that she is actually good at making fire.
Yeah, she's good at the challenges and everything. Like I said, if you're brought in as the number 2, I mean, you're dragged. I mean, they're bringing you for a reason. She didn't bring you in because she was loyal. I think she was worried about Teeny, that Teeny might have had some friends on the jury that might have got her some votes. Yeah, she definitely wanted Sam out. And but like I said, Sue at that point should have realized, okay, I don't want to be dragged into this because my resume is not. I'm loyal.
Like I said last week, Sue's best interest, her only chance, and maybe even getting some votes at the end, was to tell everybody about Rachel's idol and to
Yep.
make her play there.
Yep.
Like, she needed to make her play there, but her whole thing was, I'm going to be loyal. And I don't understand how at this point, when somebody else is making the moves for you, how you think the loyal game is going to get you any votes.
Or
Because
if you
even we
really
have seen so many seasons and seasons again that
the
the
loyal
people
thing.
who have the loyal vote, they always are the 0 vote finalists.
Yeah.
It's the ones who, the scrappy ones who try, that generally get like 1 vote or 2 votes at the end in order to.
I would even jump her game just slightly earlier, is that when she had the idol in her hand, there was only one more that she could use it herself. If she would have saved her number 1 ally in Caroline, she would have had the numbers at the next one. She probably would have been safe, but that would have been a game shifting move.
Yeah.
And that would have been great for her. But that's the thing. When you're sitting in there, you know, I look at it all the time. I would be terrible at playing Survivor because I love watching the show. I love seeing the psychology of it, but I can see what everybody's doing all the time, and I can make judgments and guesses off of what I'm being shown. If I'm in the middle of it and I don't see and I don't know what other people are doing, I would lose my mind. I wouldn't be able to handle that. Everything would be very emotional. But when you have that one bit of power, knowing when to use it or where to place it is, I think, more than the challenges, more than the hunger. It's when you have the power. I think that's probably the most difficult place in the game.
Probably, but she had to realize it wasn't the first time that she'd been upset that people weren't, you know, including her in the thing. And I mean, they're telling you.
Yes.
Yeah, they're not respecting your game. The only chance she had was if it was a bitter jury. And we've seen that a couple times where the jury's so bitter.
Yeah.
You know, Russell Hanson.
But we need to also read the room in which we just had a freaking tribal council where everybody was like, it's Genevieve versus Rachel. Whoever wins this tribal council is the one that's going to win the game. Like, if you're not reading the room and listening to what people say, like.
Even Jeff is like, it's Rachel's game to lose.
Yeah. I mean, it was, and it's just like I said. I'm glad it wasn't a bitter jury. I'm glad they voted the right way. But you know, I mean, Rachel wasn't a dirty player. I mean, she wasn't. You know, I mean, I've seen some juries where they're bitter, and you're like, going, why are you so bitter? Because this person beat you.
Yeah, no one seemed mad about who was sitting there.
No, it is just, you know, it is what it is. But again, you got to get rid of the 3 people. The third person is just. I feel bad for Sue when she's sitting there and nobody's asking her any questions.
Yes.
This is for Rachel and Sam. This is for Rachel and Sam.
Owen Knight brought that up tonight on in the social media. Owen Knight was
also a 0 vote
shout
finalist.
Out, right? And he said shout out to Gabe for ending the questions with Sue and allowing her one more moment to. He's like, because I've been there and I know, like, it's traumatizing when it hits you. I'm getting 0 votes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have to drink champagne and celebrate immediately after.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, I just, it's what's the point? I mean, you could be 2 people, and you could be that the one person that, you know, it could be a 9-0 vote, but
it's less likely though.
But it's at least I think you'd be asked questions. They're going to ask you questions. Yeah. And again, the questions I have become, you know, pretty much a waste of time. I think. I mean, I don't mind watching it, but I know that they have already had their minds made up.
Especially when you have like one sympathy vote, because like Kyle's vote wasn't, oh, I think Sam played the better game. It was a sympathy vote, which means they all discussed it beforehand and already knew what they were going to do.
Yeah.
Which I also, at some point, like on some level, I do appreciate the, you know, not making it, like the commitment to not making it like we talked about, like I don't personally like the unanimous votes, and like I get it, credit where credit's due, but like to me that means that we haven't really had any suspense or any whatever all season, and there's always people, like with the exception of, you know, One World where Kim Spradlin like ran away with it, like we've always had people who are at least scrappy enough to try, and like that's why I think the final 3. You know, I agree. I think we need to go down to 2 because you just have 2 people and you're focusing on just those 2 who are willing to make their case or trying to make their case. And
Well, it would have been different if it was Genevieve instead of Sam. If you had Genevieve and Rachel,
Definitely.
okay, then tonight's episode would have been, okay, who's going to win? Who's going to win that final immunity? Who's going to beat the fire? There would have been some drama. The whole time I go, this doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
This whole episode's a waste of time.
right. Again, it would have been really super fun if it was Genevieve versus Sam in fire, because that's the challenge I wanted to see. I understand that like they can't orchestrate that, like,
Right.
that much.
Because they've never
Really,
done
that would
that
have been
before.
that would have been fun though. But
There was-
as soon as Rachel won at 4, I was just like, I have to go do a bunch of Christmas related
got
things.
I
Like
gotta do.
I love watching Survivor, and I'm so happy for Rachel. But like, I would have taken 3 hours last week, and instead of 4 hours, like broken up into 2 weeks. And like,
Well,
what
I think they should do is have it only would work if there's two people that you're not sure who they're going to win, who the
Right.
jury's going to vote for, is have
Right.
the 2-hour episode and then you stop before they vote, and then you come back and vote, and then you at least talk to them for or you can have the jury. We can have the jury. You know who the final 3 or final 2 are, and then you have the next. But this whole thing, like we said last week, there's no way. The only way Rachel could have possibly have lost if she lost the fire challenge.
right, or
And
hadn't won at Final 4, and then
Right.
lost the fire
Win that
challenge.
fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I'm like going, it was just a long, boring episode. I
Yeah.
didn't care.
Right.
I didn't, when they're talking strategy and I'm
Which
like,
is also not fair to Rachel, because she deserved her big moment.
yeah. And she didn't get it because of
Because it was like spread out like very thinly spread butter.
yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
how
I know what they're
about
trying to
this?
do, but
You mean
Right,
like
and-
when they said like, oh, Rachel's like the 47th winner of Survivor, and then immediately he jumps in and he's all like, after show time. Like,
yeah.
she didn't even get a second to like breathe in that
Right.
win before they were like pushing it over. Like, that would have
Yeah.
been a good time for a commercial, Jeff.
Yeah. It's just,
Yeah, some of us had to pee, actually.
That
We
would
had
have
to
been fine.
strategically plan it out.
it just,
But-
I hate to complain, but it just,
And I'm not complaining. Like, I'm very,
But guys,
I'm
he's not
happy.
going to get
I'm
rid of
happy for
fire
Rachel.
after-
I would have been happy if Sam won.
But
I just,
Sam's
again,
show
I am
at Fire-
old. I am tired. It is a week before Christmas.
I think if Sam would have won, people would have been pissed.
Yes,
I think so too, because of
I
how
agree.
the casuals were like presented it.
Yeah.
I also just think that if this 2-part season finale was broken up in May instead of December, it would have been received a lot better.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That's
Because quite
true.
honestly, I have to make 4 different calendars for my family, and I always wait until the last minute. And
Well,
I
whose
was
fault is
working
that?
on it's me, but also I should have I was working on 3 of them at the same time while watching this and taking notes. Where at some point where I was just like, oh my God, why do I do this to myself?
That's a lot. That's a lot to take in at one time. But I don't know. Maybe someday we'll get a final 2 again. But Sam's performance at this fire making challenge basically ensured that Jeff was going to keep that fire challenge for the next 5 seasons.
Yeah, because it was a
I'm so
exciting
tired of
challenge.
fire.
But I think you should. I don't know.
Maybe we should do it where it's like a bigger fire. It's not like a little fire. Maybe you have to like run down a thing with a torch, and you have to like a big Burning Man fire, like
Yeah,
something
that-
really impressive.
Something on the beach.
Yes.
Or
like-
I don't know, maybe
something
we
big
can
and
have
epic.
Because then
fire.
Sue would have ran down there and said, "Oh, there's water."
This
No.
has been here the whole time.
This is what I propose for season 50. Fire challenge to get to the final 2.
Yeah. Okay.
If you're gonna do fire, like I don't
Yeah.
want fire anymore. I'm tired of fire, but like let's make it. Let's up the stakes. Let's up the ante. You can't go to the final 2, like, and it's a final 2, so like it. Fire
So the person that
means
wins the
more.
final immunity goes.
And then they get to pick who goes to fire to battle it out. So they don't even get to take their goat
That would
along.
make
Like
a
Rachel
lot more
can't
sense.
take Sue along. She has to say, Sue, you're going up against Teeny. or if Sam won, whatever, like I think that's what I think that would at
Yeah,
least
'cause then
create
they
a
could
little
keep
bit more drama.
Yeah, they could keep fire that way. They can have that little drama moment, but then also it keeps the social part about that end game more interesting. Makes the jury segment more interesting.
Yes.
I
Also,
mean, you're never going to top the I mean, the first jury, Sue
Hawk.
Sue Hawk,
With the snakes and the rats.
when she did that, it was like,
I wonder. I don't even think that they would allow them to do that anymore. Like I feel like maybe they would encourage like that light version
well,
of
you
it.
had
like,
people in the past try and do it. I mean,
Yeah.
after that, and it just was. I go, not the same.
Not
not
the
the
same.
same.
Not the same.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's true.
Because you never saw. I never because I remember I watched that at 3 a.m. I was
Oh my
at
goodness.
work that night, and Cindy goes, "Oh, you're gonna like the ending. I'm not gonna spoil you, but you're gonna like the ending." I'm like going,
People are a-holes to each other. Jack, this is your dad.
yes. Because I go, yeah, I've used that speech. That's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Good.
Top notch.
Good times.
That's some top notch stuff right there.
Yeah, but like just in general, I thought it was a decent season. Like we
I
had
thought it was a
decent
great
gameplay.
season.
I thought
Yeah,
the season-
okay.
I
I thought it was a great season too.
But it petered out at the end because
Yep.
they expanded it, and it didn't need to be. I mean,
Didn't need to
like I
be.
said, the question at the end, what did we get? 4 or 5 questions to the people. I mean, it was like,
Yep.
Oh, drink to teeny. Oh, drink to.
Oh, speaking of the drink to Teeny, did anybody notice how many refills Teeny kept getting?
At
Yes.
least
Of the
2.
champagne?
At least 2. Yes.
Where's the wine?
I was just like, please ask Teeny a question. I need
Yeah.
to hear a drunk Teeny one more time.
What was Teeny's question to the 3 people?
Oh, sweet Jesus. I don't remember. I just know that Rachel.
I don't remember asking a question.
She did ask something. No, she asked, "What was your?" Who's the one that asked, "What was your worst moment?" I have notes.
Maybe
up.
that
I
was
don't know why I'm not looking at them.
Teeny. Okay.
I know that she was defending Rachel on the
Yeah, no.
spam
Sierra.
statements.
Yeah, and Sierra was the one that asked, "What was your biggest mistake and how you recovered?" And honestly, I thought that was a really great question.
That is a good one. That's
if
a
I'm
great
ever on
question
Survivor
in,
and
like,
make
a
it to the
job
jury,
interview.
yeah, like I have been asked that in job interviews before. Like,
It's a good one.
what's a mistake you made that whatever.
'Cause you know
conflict you had.
everybody's going to make a mistake. So great. We know that going in.
Yeah,
but
how'd you
what
handle
do you
it?
do to bounce back from it? Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought that
a
was a
good
great question. Yeah, I really like that too. I feel like we might see Teeny back. Also, Twitter just reminded me that Rachel was an alternative for season 46.
Yes. Alternatives do so well. What's up with
Apparently.
that? They just do well.
I hate it when they're trying. I mean, I know you're trying to win, but when they're trying to say her game wasn't that good because she had, Saul saved her and she got the advantage. I mean,
That means her social game was good. She got someone to give her stuff.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just like, and I won challenges when I had to.
Someone who wasn't even on her tribe at the time.
I like when Sam was like saying something and both Sue and said, "No, it wasn't that big a deal. You're fake. No, we weren't falling for it." No, and Sam's like, and don't get me wrong, I like Sam, but he thought he thought he scored there, and they're like, "No, it wasn't that big a deal."
Yeah.
Okay. Let's take a quick break right here because we only have one email and I feel like we are going to continue this conversation. So let's just take the break here while we are at a very, even point. And also before I forget. So here we go. What? Sometimes, All right, we're back.
I've almost
go
forgot.
ahead.
I forgot,
Whatever
right?
you were I have to pee so badly.
I forgot we were here.
There's a very good chance I'm about to mute myself, turn my camera off,
need
and
some
let
water?
you guys. No,
water?
okay. I started this tea during Final Tribal, so I have to pee so bad. So
You're
I'm gonna
drinking
let
tea
you-
at night doesn't have caffeine in it?
no, I do non-caffeinated tea all day long. Like whatever
Okay.
time of day I do it, because
Okay.
I can't do caffeine after like 10 a.m.
Really?
Yeah, I just can't. Like once in a while, if I like need to or whatever, I'll have it like with like a fountain beverage at lunch or whatever. But like it's special occasions. Yeah.
Nice.
No. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta know your body. Anyway, you guys.
I thought we had an email.
We have an email. Fine.
Okay.
I'm gonna
We'll go pee and then we'll.
No. We'll read the email.
Why, we had a 10-minute commercial break. Why didn't you go pee then?
Because I talk a lot. I'm a big talker.
I've been sitting there waiting for 10 minutes, and you could have went and peed.
I know, but you guys kept talking to me. All right, real quick. No, you know what? You guys talk about whatever you were just talking about. I'm literally going to turn my camera off, and I'm going to mute myself, and I'm going to go pee, but I'm going to be right back because the bathroom is literally, see that flower picture right there? It is on the other side of this.
Oh, I thought I thought you were going to say the flower picture is the bathroom.
It is. There's actually a secret portal. I turn it like vertical.
You got to aim for who can shoot the highest. Anyway.
Unfortunately, I always lose that game.
Yeah.
All right. I will be right back. Talk about whatever. Talk. You guys are Survivor fans. Just freaking talk. You don't need me. I'll be right back.
She finally left. Jesus.
Jeez, Maniz. It's really not important to the game, but I thought it was really funny that they included a segment about the watermelon.
Oh, yeah.
Sam tries watermelon for the first time. That's what you came here to see. This is why we had an extra finale.
And you're like, to me, I'm like going, okay, unless you're living in a country or a place that doesn't have watermelon.
Try watermelon.
I mean, watermelon in the United States is like, okay, it's like.
Like, have you been to a barbecue of any kind?
Yeah, it's like you've ever been to the beach or you've ever, any kind of party or, there's watermelon. Watermelon is, especially in the summertime, is because it's
wherever you go.
It's great because it has water in it.
It's literally in the name, Sam. I'm imagining though that like if somebody hasn't had watermelon their entire life, they've probably at some point had like a watermelon piece of candy, something like that.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Like, so do you think that's what watermelon tastes like? Because it doesn't.
Because watermelon candy is like. It's like one of my favorites.
Yeah. So is that your expectation going in? It would explain why he was like, "Nah, I could take it or leave it."
And my grandkids love watermelon. The only problem is with my granddaughter, the princess, she does. If there's a seed in it, she won't eat it. So you have to get the seed out, and there's a white seed in it. I go, those literally you can't taste. You can't taste the white seed. They don't even.
It's fine.
They're not even crunchy. I don't want it. So I'm getting a little straw or something like a toothpick and picking the little. I go there. The seed is gone. Jesus. You're still muted. Can't hear you.
Oh, here we go. Sorry. I did the thing with the seeds where I was just like, you know what? If you want the watermelon, you're going to pick the seeds out yourself.
There you go.
I'm telling you, I go, let's get a seedless watermelon. You cut it. Oh, come on. Seeds, you try to cut around it. It's like, man, it's a night. When I was a kid, like Colleen said, if we had watermelon, well, we didn't have seedless watermelon back then. It wasn't
right. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't remember seedless watermelon. It's genetically modified, but like I don't think it was modified back.
You bite into it, you push the seed back in your mouth, and
exactly.
That was part of the fun.
Sibling warfare.
Moment as an adult, where I was like, oh. You guys don't have to like spit the black watermelon seeds out or the white ones. Like even like that's weird.
Yeah. I mean, it's just I don't get it.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. Where were we? We have an email. All right. Mandy says.
Mandy.
I don't think y'all have talked about it, but I love the ghost commercials of them watching the episode each week.
Oh yeah,
I love them too. They're so much fun.
Yeah. There was something that happened on last week's that was hilarious. The comment that they made.
They had the hippie one. Did the one last week.
Oh, what's her name?
Flower.
How do I hear flowers?
Daisy Flower or something.
Yeah, no, it was Flower last week. Yeah. We talked about like surviving like a whatever bear attack, and they were like, "No, Flower, you didn't survive the bear attack. That's why you're here."
She goes, "Oh, that's right."
Yeah.
I was worried because last season we think she gets sucked off.
Yes.
It's just because she had a baby in real life.
Yeah, she had a baby in real life and wasn't ready to come back, so she was in the dirt with Prudence. No, was it? What was the proper the?
Oh my God! I can't ever remember a name. The owner of the house.
No.
I watched the whole season. I'm blanking.
Not the owner of the house.
The maid was it the maid?
No, she was the one who was in the dirt.
No, yeah. Oh my God, I'm blanking so much on her name.
Prudence.
I watched the whole season for the record. Okay,
got it down.
whatever. It'll come to us.
If you haven't seen Ghost, watch it. It's pretty.
It's
funny.
a really funny show. Like both, I hear the UK version is even more better. It's very very good too.
Yeah.
But we've watched the American one, and if you're a fan of the Christmas Prince movies, I got great news for you.
The British one's got more of a bite to it. It's more
like the British Office.
Yeah.
Okay. Mandy's email continues. Dare I say, best fire making ever? It was
Kind
very
of
good.
was, yeah.
It was just because like that comeback. Don't call it a comeback, but like it was a comeback.
Don't do that. He's gonna start rapping again.
Oh yeah, that's right. Max says the Wind was a paid actor. Did Teeny losing make her? I feel like the Wind was a paid actor. Did Teeny losing make her a lock for season 50? No, I think it's still Andy.
I like Teeny, but is she that interesting as far as her gameplay?
Nope.
No.
I don't know. To be determined.
Certain moments.
I mean, she knows the game, but she really didn't make any.
I mean, like right from the get-go, Teeny was always kind of like fumbling the ball just a little bit. Like when Rome, was like, wait, were you telling? Because she made an alliance with Rome right off the bat, like first episode.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not full-blown Charlie Brown, but like...
No, Hobo Kelly.
Yes. There it is. That Teeny riding the rail car all the way through the game.
Jesus. All right. Moving on.
I want to be on 50. There's a little... Okay, anyway.
She's going to get sucked off before she can get on season 3. All right, it's cute that Sue thinks she's a contender and has a chance. I wanted it to be Sam so bad, but at least he got second, although I thought the vote would be closer. I also did think it would be closer. I
thought he made a pretty good case. And I was
he did. And that's why I think
but again, they already have their minds made up.
Right. It's human nature to like have to pick sides, pick teams, to not want to like hear when you're wrong or be persuaded.
They've already written on the parchment before they even get to the...
Sometimes it does feel like that. But I did think Sam made a really good case as well. And
I think he held his own on those questions.
It's
terrible.
I've said this 100 times. If you want to make it where you keep the jury sequestered, that they're away from each other until they vote, and they come on there and they don't talk.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really want to make it, I mean, it would suck for those people. You're by yourself for a while.
Yeah, because then their perception is only what you tell them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because they get on. Oh, this person did this. This person did this. Oh, this person.
It's like real court.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, I just think if you want to do that, or all 9 jurors are by themselves.
Yeah, but where's the fun in that too for them? All right, let's finish Mandy's email. She says, "Mind blown that Teeny and Sam are the same age. They are.
Really?
Did we know this?
Oh yeah, because Sam's 24 and so is Teeny.
Wow." I always thought Sam was like, yeah, I guess that's
Sam looks a little older.
It's the goatee.
It's the jock in him.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yep.
It's that jawline.
Yeah.
Teeny, this is a compliment if you're listening.
Yeah.
Yep.
As somebody who suddenly finds themselves streaked with even more silver hair than they previously had, they're like, where did this even come from?
Silver hair. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo. Oh, wham, wham, wham.
No hair is going to be me. Okay. And then as far as the 48 promo, she says, well, that was disappointing. No freak outing in the preview of seeing people that I knew.
Right? I know. I was like, oh, this is definitely not as exciting as last year's sneak.
I do like the one girl who said, my family says I'll be the first voted out. I'm
not
athletic.
I hope you win. I hope you win.
I have a bad personality.
When Jay was watching that, he was like, I think she might be our first person out. And I was like, I don't know. Maybe she's going to go on to win. Who knows? But yeah, last season in premiere in the preview we had Asia, we had Andy, we had John Lovett. Like we had people that people knew where like the internet was a buzz. But that doesn't mean that this isn't going to be just as good of a season. Maybe it'll be back to an hour.
Well, I like when he goes. He says, and now let's take a look at. Finally, we're going to take a look at season 48. And the people that are like going, well, we can't see it. And
yeah.
Like, yeah. They go, yay.
We're taking a look at 48, which hasn't even filmed yet.
Yes, yay.
Here, Teeny, fill up another glass.
Yeah. Teeny,
just give me the bottle.
Yeah. Teeny, here's your extra glass so you can narrate next season for us.
I see Teeny on the train now with her stick and her clothes and her bottle of wine.
I'm too old for Teeny, but I would love to have a glass of wine with her.
So much. Yes, that would be.
I don't like wine.
I know that would be entertaining.
Or a beer or something, or a rum and coke for you. I would like Teeny.
I go, can we get you a pair of pants that don't have a patch on it?
No, I like the patches. Teeny, if you're ever in town, if any of you are ever in town, I don't know. Raleigh's a fun place.
Saying,
Raleigh is a fun place. Jack
Teeny
isn't fun, but I am fun.
Raleigh's a fun place. Teeny has learned from their experience on Survivor that where in the past they always were a sidekick and they had to learn how to manage things on their own in Survivor. I would spend a day with Teeny, and Teeny, I would be your sidekick. You could be the lead. It's fine. I just want to go hang out with you because you seem like you're really fun. I think if you have any of those public events, I feel like Teeny's going to be the one that everybody buddies up with Teeny.
Yeah, I think so too.
She had that one bad moment, but yeah, she's cool.
Yep.
Yeah. They seem very, very cool. Okay, let's do the tally the votes here. So Jamie and I had Teeny as merge. Jack had her as pre-merge, which means Jamie is.
It was because of those pants.
Yeah, I didn't like the pants.
Jamie now has 10.
Ooh.
Which actually, let me. I'm going to switch over. I don't know if anybody is watching this, but
I don't think so.
Well, no, there's people. No, there's a bunch of people watching.
Oh, are there?
Commenting? Yes, actually.
Losers.
They're just not commenting.
So they're whispering behind our backs.
Let me just so you know. Let me show you. We had merge, pre-merge, blah blah blah. Jack and I had Rachel as merge. Jamie had her as pre-merge. I had Sam pre-merge. You guys had him as merge, and we all had Sue making the merge. So let me move over to that tab because I once upon a time messed up the tallying the votes. Oh, there you go. 7 Californians for Survivor 48, according to Jackson Gladfilter. Okay, so a point for Teeny. I believe that does mean that Jamie, you have 10 now, right?
Yep.
She had 10 a minute ago. Oh, I'm sorry.
With the Teeny vote.
With the Teeny vote, and I had 1. We're just gonna go down. Rachel. None of us had her final 3, so I don't think anybody gets points, right? We don't get points do we get points if they make the merge? Even though they don't get to final 3?
I don't know because I didn't make these rules.
I thought you do get points if they make the merge.
You know what? Let's do it because these were Jay's fucking antiquated rules. So,
yeah, let's do it.
I'm so sorry. I just cursed. These were Jay's antiquated rules. So Jack's going to get a point here. I'm going to get a point here. I apologize if you're listening to this with children. Just tell them that they stroked out for a second. As far as Sam, both of you had him making the merge. So that's 11 for Jamie. That makes 1, 2, 3, 4. That makes 10 for Jack. And then as far as Sue goes, we all had Sue. And did I catch everybody? I did. Okay. So 11, 9, 12. So before we get into our final, Jamie has 12, Jack has 11, and I have a 9. So let's go into this, which if they do a 2-part finale next year, I think we should just eliminate the 5 and do the 4 because it really does give us more insight at doing it. But
I agree.
This was a once in a lifetime thing, I hope. All right. None of us gets points for 5 because Genevieve went home. Sam at 6. Sam did not. Nobody. I had Teeny at 4. Okay, so I get a point for Teeny at 4. Okay, so that puts me at 10. Let's see. I had a point for Teeny at 4. Sue 3. Jack and I both had Sue at 3.
So is that a point for each of you?
Yes.
Oh wait, actually, hold on. I had Teeny. I had Teeny at 4, so I actually get 2 points. I'm sorry. So I get 2 points. Gosh, math is so difficult. I get 2 points. So Jack, you and I get 3 points for Sue being in third. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Right? Is that? Yeah. Okay. Did I do this right? I have no idea.
Go for it. My math brain's out.
Just keep doing what you're doing. I'm
Yep.
cool.
Okay. None of us got
stop.
Nobody had the second place, and then Jack and I both had Rachel, so we both get 5 points there, which
Jeez.
so that puts us at 16, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that puts us at 16. My final okay. Jamie, however, you get an extra point because you had Rachel here. Jack and I did not. Okay, so it ends up with Jack and I tying with 16 and Jamie getting 13. And if I am wrong,
So Jamie led the whole way until
It's because of the dang winner pick curse.
it is.
It's
It
what got me.
is.
If I would have
Yeah.
just picked Rachel one earlier instead of
Oh
Andy.
man, that's
Yeah,
right.
That's right.
So anyway, we tie. We are the champions. Our
Good job.
friends. Good
Woo,
job. Good
woo.
game. Good game. Good game. All right. On that note, everyone, thank you for listening. It was a pleasure. Maybe we'll be back next season. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll
Sur-
see.
It'll be a surprise.
I'll be here, but I might be all by myself.
I was thinking they might not have that 2-hour one because Amazing Race is back, isn't it?
I think
Oh,
so.
is it?
Yeah. Even though Amazing Race ends a week early, they won't have
Ugh.
a 2-hour episode. I mean, they'll have maybe they'll go back to the 3-hour.
Just have a
episode.
regular finale. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
It'll be a
sounds
mystery. We'll find out. Well, anyway, on that note, though, thanks everybody for listening to this season with us. We had highs, we had lows, we had ups, we had downs, we had hopes that were dashed pre-merge, hopes that were dashed post-merge. Overall, though, it was a pretty good season, I think.
Yeah. Wasn't bad.
Yeah.
And if anybody is interested in watching the traders with all of our Survivor people that are going to be on it this year, and if you're interested in watching Australia versus the World or Australia Survivor, I will post links on the Jay and Jack page.
Okay. Yes, I'm going to watch the traders, but I don't know if I'm going to do the Australia one because I just don't have the time. But I would like
to see Carolyn in traders. Like and
know.
Brittany Haynes is going to be there too. Like Brittany Haynes is my all-time favorite Big Brother player with one of my favorite Survivor players. They better align or I'm going to riot. Just saying.
Okay.
Merry Christmas, Sherry.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Sherry. Thanks for watching. Anyway, all right. On that note, everybody, we'll see you in March. I think it's coming back in March.
Oh, it's
so-
not until March? Okay.
Yeah, or maybe we won't see it. Maybe this is goodbye for forever. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out.
The end is near.
The end is near.
2024 isn't done yet. We don't know what's coming.
Yeah, we don't know what 2025 is going to bring.
So
Anyway, on that note, though, thank you. Though we really appreciate it. It was a pleasure watching with you guys, and we'll see you around.
But
On
we
that
want
note,
to thank.
we're going to thank the patrons, especially the ones that contribute to a certain level, and that'd be Eckhart Rickner, Maggie the Magnificent, Joanne with the Plan, Ed the Creepy Poopy Head Melon. If you haven't listened to the Survivor bonus show yet that Jamie, Amanda, and Shandy and I did this week, I really don't think you need to that it's obsolete at the end of the season, because we spend a lot of time explaining to Amanda how Survivor works and how the edit works and how things can go awry. And I feel like it's probably our longest bonus show that we've ever done. It's like over an hour long. And
yeah, it did go into the hour mark.
Okay, so I was going through my phone today, and apparently Alex took a secret video of me recording.
Yes. Yes.
And
It was
it's
the
2.5
meta
minutes.
moment.
It's 2.5 minutes, and because my headphones weren't working, I can hear the whole conversation on the thing, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is better than I remember."
Yeah.
Nice.
The kids were fun. There was an echoing contest. There was art displayed.
There was art
fun.
displayed. There was diorama art displayed too.
Yeah, it was
Or,
great.
yeah, Alex, because she had band practice downstairs, so I had to do it upstairs. And
They went to band camp.
yes, he did at this one time at band camp. But like so and then my headphones weren't connecting for whatever reason, so I did it without the headphones for a while, and then the kids were there, and it was a whole thing. So check it out if you haven't heard it yet. I really do think that it's probably a good thing to listen to in retrospect anyway. But anyway, on that note, guys, thank you all. We'll see you. Happy holidays. My name is Colleen.
I'm Jamie.
Jack.
Peace out, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.